So as of this month, we've signed $35 million in clients for our business since we started it. And I'd like to share 3 marketing mistakes that you're likely making that you can fix almost overnight. So in this video, I'll cover what are the 3 mistakes, how to know if you're making them, and how you can fix them in a very short amount of time. And don't worry, these don't require major strategy shifts. They're all super fixable in 24 hours. And so the first mistake is going broad and then narrow, where you really should go narrow and then broad. Now you might be thinking, well, wait a minute, Dan, the gurus are telling me that I need to build a big audience, so I have to do wide content, I have to do broad content, and then from that, filter it down to my ideal clients. But I get it, they tell you that, but I've spent $7 million in ads, I've made $35 million for my business, I've helped make over $100 million for my clients. I look at the data, and the data just does not suggest that. Now, if you sold something like, skincare or something, then fine. But if you sell high-end services, if you're an accountant, if you're a lawyer, if you're some sort of business, health, or marriage coach, or you're an agency that does services of some kind, this does not apply. So here's why narrow content, or what I call nut and bolt content, will perform way better, especially if you're a bit newer or you don't have a big audience. So when I got started, I was a nobody. Nobody knew who I was, didn't have an audience. And I was selling in a red ocean. I was selling Facebook marketing, Facebook ads course, and Facebook ad services. Now I knew if I said, hey, learn Facebook ads from me, that would have been unbelievable, right? Because I didn't have authority, I didn't have an audience, I didn't have a lot of results or credibility. So I started with what I call a nut and bolt offer. A nut and bolt offer is something that is just more like a resource, or it's more of a very specific, tangible thing. So for me, I had a $37 course called Pixel Hero, and it was how to install your Facebook pixel. Now, when you see an ad, and it's like, hey, are you struggling to install your Facebook pixel? Is it preventing you from running ads? Take this course, and in 1 hour, you'll have everything set up. You don't need to be a guru to buy that. Another example would be if you sold speaking coaching. You could run an ad and say, oh, listen, I'll teach you how to be a world-class speaker. But unless you already are a world-class speaker and you have a big audience, there's no trust there, and you need trust for that big of a promise. But if you make a small promise or a nut and bolt promise, something like, hey, download my list of 500 companies that hire paid speakers for 47 bucks, well, I don't need to trust you to be Tony friggin' Robbins. I'm just like, dude, there's a list of 500 companies that hire paid speakers. I would love to have that list. It's only $47. That's a no-brainer offer. Buy. And see, those low promise nut and bolt offers get people in the door. See, when you make a big promise, they need to know what your experience is. But when you make a small promise and they buy, you can then impress them with the experience they have with you. And if they have a good experience with you, they don't care so much about your experience. And so if you want to grow a brand fast, try to use nut and bolt offers to get your foot in the door with the customers. If you sell services like you're a tax accountant, you could do an ebook called 17 tax hacks you can use in the next 24 hours to save money. This is a nut and bolt offer. Or even better, 60-minute QuickBooks. How to set up your QuickBooks for your business in 60 minutes or less. In fact, this is how I paid my way through college. I went to college for audio engineering. And I was not a professional recording engineer. I never produced a big album, but I was making 50 bucks an hour getting on Zoom and just showing people how to set up their home recording software. So I would put ads out on Craigslist and say, hey, are you a songwriter trying to record your own songs at home, but you struggle to get your audio production software set up? I'll hop on Zoom with you, walk you through the whole thing, 50 bucks an hour. I didn't say I'm gonna help you create an award-winning, Grammy-winning album. I said I'm gonna help you set up your friggin' software. So what happened was they would pay me $50 an hour to help them do that. I would show them all kinds of cool stuff, and then I'd sell them like a $500 or $1,000 package, a block, where I taught them how to like get better sounds out of their guitar and all this. Why? Why did they trust me for that? Because they had a good experience with me when I helped set them up their software, and so they trusted me. My foot was in the door and they paid me more. So the biggest hack I can tell you, I don't care what you sell, it could be coaching, consulting, agency, whatever, sell something that is a small nut and bolt problem. Small promise, get your foot in the door, provide an amazing experience for your clients, and then they're gonna naturally come to you to solve the bigger problem. And when they solve the bigger problem, they pay a bigger price. This is how you can build a brand super, super easy with ads, content, whatever. And this is exactly how I signed 100 people to a $55,000 per year business mastermind. They would buy a lower end product from me that was some marketing course I had or selling course or whatever, and then they would have a good experience with me, and then they would upgrade to a general business mastermind. And the funny thing about it is there was no content for that mastermind. I literally just did a call every week and answered questions for 55 grand a year, and I had 100 people in it at one point. Like, think about that. See, I started narrow and I widened it out because once they knew I could solve a small problem, they saw all the other problems I could solve. I mean, they were asking me about real estate investing, and I'm not even a real estate investor. I just took the money I made from my online business, put it in real estate, and did really, really well with it. Flipped home after home after home. I don't sell anything on that. I just answer questions about it. I literally have no real estate offers, but they come in there because they just want proximity because they know I can help with those things. And so the principle here is do not go broad and then narrow, go narrow and then broad. Okay, the second mistake is trying to impress your customers with knowledge rather than simplification. Now you might be thinking, but Dan, don't I gotta show my prospects that I know what I'm talking about? I don't wanna talk down to them. I don't wanna dumb it down too much. I get that. But again, the data doesn't lie. $7 million in ads. I can tell you every time I tried to impress my audience with complicated content, they checked out. What people actually want is not to learn new stuff. What they want is to have what they already have heard of simplified so that they can actually use it. I'll give you an example. 2 nights ago, I spoke at 𝐃𝐚𝐧's event here in Dubai. Now, this event was $300 a ticket for VIP and $97 a ticket for general admission. So they paid to be watching this event. Now, at one point when I was on stage, I said, I am going to justify the cost of this entire event for you right now. And then I said, how many of you know the definition of a hook? And the chat started filling up and they said, oh, it's a pattern interrupt. It gets someone attention. It makes someone click. And then I said, if I can give you a definition of a hook so good that you will understand it 10 times better, do you think you could make a lot more money with your content and your ads? And of course, everybody said yes. And I said, okay, so here's what it is. A hook is something someone sees or hears that creates multiple burning questions in their mind that they cannot stand to go unanswered. Therefore, they click to have them answered. And I went on to explain that when I create YouTube videos and ads, my hooks make people go, ooh, I have these burning questions about that. I gotta have these answered, click. Like one of my best YouTube videos was, I spent $500,000 on gurus, here's what I learned. So when you see that, you're like, wait a minute, this dude spent 500 grand on gurus? What did he get for 500 grand? What did he learn? And can I use this right now without spending 500 grand? See, these are burning questions that you're just like, dude, I gotta click. I gotta see if I can get these questions answered. That's why it's one of my highest performing YouTube videos. So when I explained that, I literally had so many people in the chat saying this was worth the entire event. Right here, this 2-minute explanation was worth the entire event. Why? Because I didn't teach them anything new. I taught them something they already knew, but I simplified it so much that they now can actually understand it and use it. So again, don't try to teach people new stuff. try to simplify things so that they can actually understand it. Because when you can bring clarity to someone's life, it could be anything. How to save money with foundations or trusts, how to lose weight with intermittent fasting, how to save your marriage, how to deal with conflict in a marriage, what makes an Instagram reel go viral and then you sell them an editing service. I mean, it could be friggin' anything. The principle is don't teach, simplify. Keep this mindset with all your ads, all your content, you're gonna do way better. Okay, and the final mistake is creating content and ads that target the wrong person. Now you might be saying, well, Dan, I've heard this advice before. Sure, but do you understand how to actually implement it? Let me make it simple for you. So back to that course I sold, the Pixel Hero. All you have to do when you make an offer, you make an ad, you have to think, is this something that my ideal client would absolutely want and my non-ideal client would have no interest in? So if you're trying to set up the Facebook pixel, you intend to run ads. And if you intend to run ads, then you also intend to invest in ads, and thus you probably need help getting the most out of your ads. And you're someone that spends money, because people that run ads spend money on their business. Funny thing, I was talking to 𝐴𝐚𝐧 about this, and he really opened up my mind to a really dumb mistake that I was making. I've always historically crushed it with ads because I knew, hey, if I put the right offer in an ad in front of people, the people that buy that will eventually buy the bigger thing because I'm giving an exact offer for the exact client. Like for instance, back to the example of the speaking offer. If you're just kind of interested in becoming a speaker, you might buy a general book on how to become a highly paid speaker, but you might not be serious about it. But if you spend $47 to download a list of companies that hire speakers, well, you really are intending to do this because you're spending money so that you can reach out to these people. The intent there is just so much stronger than just curiosity. And when I was speaking to 𝐴𝐚𝐧 about this, he said, listen, dude, you're so good at ads, but on YouTube, it's the same thing. When you create an ad specifically for your audience. But when you create YouTube, most people create these, day in the life habits videos. If somebody is gonna buy my, high-end mastermind or my high-end coaching or whatever, why would I say, here's what to do if you're broke, if I want people who aren't broke? Like if you make 6 figures or 7 figures with your business and you want to scale that and you wanna work with me, why on earth would you watch a video about what to do if you're broke? It makes no friggin' sense. Now, if I sold a basic business opportunity course or something like that, then I could see it. His suggestion was to take the same approach to ads as to YouTube. Make YouTube videos as content that attracts the specific person that you want to buy the eventual offer. And when I started taking that advice, which I honestly should have known, because why would it work for ads and not work for YouTube? The prospects that we got from YouTube just started going through the roof. Like they were way more qualified. We had our record month last month. Record month, we did about 500 grand, and a big chunk of it was from YouTube. More sales from YouTube than we've had ever. Why? Because we started making more specific videos that were only for our target customer. So all you have to do is think, what is the main thing I sell? What's a small sub-problem in that only the person that would eventually buy this big thing would be interested in? Use that as your front-end offers, front-end ads, etc., and now you're gonna attract the exact people that you want. And the principle here is that you wanna promote based on intent, not curiosity. People that are curious are window shoppers. People that buy based on intent, those are called clients. Now, if this was helpful and you would like to work with us to help you get more clients, I'll leave a link in the description where you can check out what that looks like. Don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next one.